All right, I'm in my 2018 Chevrolet Bolt running FrogPilot, an offshoot from Comma AI. And this fork is called Starpilot. This Bolt has lane keep assist, point it down here, lane keep assist. And I'm going to take you on a little journey on some highways and some back roads. So as a little bit of background, I've been driving Tesla full self-driving since 2019. Well, I didn't get the FSD until 2021, but autopilot before that. So I feel like I have a lot of experience in this autonomous field, and I've been driving with this new to me Bolt for the past couple weeks with Com AI. And I have to say that I've been really impressed. Now we're going to go on the highway here, so it's not going to make the turn. So I'm going to have to, disengage here. I'm going to hit the brake pedal. Now, as I turn, though, you can feel the steering wheel assisting you making that turn. So I'm going to kind of turn the wheel a little bit. It's going to make the turn on its own. So once I get up to speed on the highway, I'm going to hit the set button. Now, to engage the system, you turn on cruise control, use your resume and set buttons. So I'm going to go ahead and get up to speed here. Now on the screen, it's showing 42 miles per hour is the set. So once this car gets past me, I'm going to merge in. Then I'm going to hit the set button. I'm at 60 miles an hour now. It's set, it goes to 62, which I'm at. Now the car's taken over. I've got my foot off of the accelerator pedal. And of course, I'm not touching the steering wheel at all. So now we're just kind of hang back and cruise. So, if I want to change lanes, I'll do that in a second. All I have to do is put the turn signal on, give the slightest little tug to the steering wheel, and it's going to change lane, and then disengage the indicator stalk, and I'm done. I feel like this system as it is today is probably as good as FSD Autopilot was in 2019, 2020. I'm hoping that if I'm taking trips like tonight, a little bit longer trips, that it becomes a Tesla-like experience of very low stress. Obviously, it's got, I'm going to do the lane change now. So I'm going to turn signal on. It's a tiny little tug of the steering wheel. It goes over on its own. Turn the steering indicator off, and I'm in the middle. Kind of like, autopilot was like that. You had to disengage the system every time. The one thing I'm finding that's in some ways nicer to drive this car on city streets with this engaged is living in a state like Ohio, which is nothing but potholes. I can take the steering wheel, maneuver around potholes, and then keep the system engaged. If I do that in the Tesla, to avoid potholes, I disengage autopilot. Now, you can argue that it's theoretically training the system to avoid potholes in the distant, near, long-term future, whatever you want to call that. But I've been, having driven this maybe 600 miles so far, I'm really impressed with what the Comma team has done, and especially the people that are open sourcing this fork of Starpilot. It's pretty amazing what they're achieving with the Comma AI device. This is Comma 3. This device now is $1,000, and the wiring that you need is about another $200. That was off of Etsy. You can buy it from Comma, but there's a Tech Bear. I'm going to get that name wrong off the top of my head. Great community. Got the wires that run. Here's the adapter up here. RJ45 that runs along the headliner, down the A-pillar, under the dash, and plugs into the pedal control. That gives me the ability, or the car the ability, to pass the signals that it needs for, I'm going to get over. Let's go just in one lane here. To intercept the pedal, throttle controls, brake, etc. Now, this car can brake on its own, putting in the L mode, and it'll come up to a stoplight. It's not 100%. Really got to watch it like any other system, but it's fairly impressive what it's already doing on city streets. So, all right, so that's the overview. So we'll just kind of film for a while. It's keeping its distance. There's tons of settings you can tweak to your driving style, but the car is going to keep appropriate distance back. That says traffic at by, and I'm going to speed up here. I don't want to. I never like to be in the front of the pack. So hit this, we get in the other lane. Now this up here, it's set to 62, so it should start to ramp up speed. I'm going to hit my resume button, long hold, and it gives me 5-mile increments. Well, in this case, it'll run up to the nearest 5, so I'm up to 65. I'm at 65 highway. I'll give one more punch to put it up to 70. Now we're at 70. We should pick up some more speed. So now we're going 70. Hit the steering wheel, or I'm sorry, the indicator. Take a little tug, and I'm going to cruise over to the right lane. Indicator off. I'm in right lane. I haven't touched the steering wheel. I mean, haven't had to navigate the steering wheel or press the pedal since we entered the highway. We just passed, I think it was the exit for, let's see if that's the right exit, some superchargers back here in Ohio, in Seville, Ohio, and they're not NACS capable yet. There's a set of superchargers in Ashland that are NACS capable, and we've used those a couple of times as we went to Columbus and back in the Bolt, but from our Tesla trips to Columbus, that's now our preferred stop for charging back and forth between Akron and Columbus. Mount Gilead is a great stop. It's halfway. It's version 2. These new ones are version 3. But hopefully that one in Seville is going to become NACS capable here soon. Again, that's a new V3, went in about a year ago. Get up here on Route 57, so we'll have to take over, get off the highway. So by hitting the brake pedal, I stay in the system. So I'm going to go ahead and tap the pedal here. You can have that frog sound if you want or not. It's kind of cool to have the frog sounds. So I'm going to hit set again, re-engage the system. System's driving, and again, it's going to come to its own stop. I'm in low mode on the Bolt. Now, it might start going on its own here. Let's see if it does after I've re-engaged it. Yep, it's going on its own. A little slow, I'm going to press the accelerator pedal and kind of guide it to the turn. You can feel the steering wheel power on its own from the comma system. Hands off the wheel. Give a little tug to the right, get in that right lane. We're at 25 up here on the screen, so it thinks it's a 25 road, so it reset it to that. So I'm gonna hit the up 2 times. I'm gonna go up to like 50 miles an hour. And we're back to letting the car do its thing. See if we get any red lights up here that we have to stop for. We have a couple traffic circles coming up ahead. And did a traffic circle the other day and it handled it pretty well. I did about as well as traffic circles were going in FSD in version 10. I don't know what you're going to be able to see of the comment screen from this video. Got a traffic circle up ahead. And I think it probably depends on other cars in front of you for it to slow down. I don't know if it's going to, on its own, if there was no cars in front of me, how well it would handle a traffic circle. So always try to be cautious though. Got a plane coming in for a landing. I'm going to hit the brake and take over for a second here, let it slow down a bit. I'm going to take that. That's how to let it go. Hit set now. All right, we're in the traffic circle. And it's doing on its own there. Okay, that's on its own for the second half of the traffic circle. I'm down to 25 on the screen. I'm going to have to reset it here. So I'll get up to a good speed. Go to say 45 and hit set. Hit set. Let go of the accelerator. Now we're back to 46 on the screen. Let's give it one more poke. Get us up to 50 on this road. So for the 13 people that watch this video, if I end up posting it or not, this is a pretty amazing system. I knew of Kana, but didn't pay that much attention to it, being in the Tesla world. But I had a Nissan Leaf that I drove for 7 years, bought it used, sold it for half of what I bought it for, and took the tax credit, rolled it into this used Bolt that came from California, and it sat for 3 years, had a new pack replaced in October of 2024. I bought it in January of 25, and my out-the-door cost after rolling in the Leaf sale, the tax credit, this car at 32,000 miles came in at, with tax and everything, like $1,600 out the door. That to me is like a no-brainer. And the car, as people that know electric cars, they just seemingly feel great. When really now it's seeing the car and slowing down on its own. Great. I was almost ready to take over there. This is all the car slowing down on itself. Haven't touched the pedal or the steering wheel. And I should continue when this guy turns. Get out of the way. We're still at 50. Let's see how it ramps up, how quickly. 25, 20, 30. Nice. Nothing jarring. Good, slow, gradual acceleration, which is nice. Even the Tesla sometimes just take off really fast. That was pretty nice. So anyhow, with the tax credits probably going away, it's like, this was a no-brainer. We have a 2019 Bolt. It's my wife's daily driver. She's just now short of 90,000 miles. People shit on the Bolts all the time. You know, I watched the Weber YouTube videos. John Kelly, professor, tore down the Bolt back in like 2018, 17, and really that gave me the confidence to purchase our first Bolt, and it's been a fantastic car. My wife doesn't even drive with cruise control on. Like, for tens of thousands of miles she's driven with me in the Tesla. She drives 50 miles a day, all manually, but for her that's a perfect car, and she loves the Bolt. Now, one of the shortcomings are the seats, so I put padding in my seat, did that in the 19 Bolt, and made a world of difference. So they're just much more comfortable. Pretty easy DIY, couple hours to add some couple layers of foam in there. Any other shortcomings in the Bolts? You know, it's got great range. I mean, this came with a 64 kilowatt pack. When we had our original Bolt, came with that 57 kilowatt hour pack. Drove it for 40,000 miles. Degraded 5 to 7% from what I could calculate. We get a brand new pack at 41,000 miles with 64 kilowatts. So we got back the degradation we lost, any additional range. So that, it was fantastic. And this car was interesting. I looked at 2 other Chevy Bolts before purchasing this one. And they all had some recent battery packs, and using the OB2 to read off the pack using car scanner, engine link. The other 2 Bolts I looked at were like 55 and change and 56 and change, which was interesting. They had recent pack updates, and our 2019 Bolts with now close to 44,000, is that right? No, 47,000 miles on that pack is at 56.6 kilowatt hours, which is what those other Bolts were reading at. So this Bolt, when I picked it up, came in at 62. After driving it a week, it went up to 63.8 kilowatt hours, and that's where it sat. So interesting how there's such a wide variation of these Bolts. Now, who knows if those cars were, you know, charged 100% for a few months sitting around. You just never know. But got lucky with getting almost the entire 64 kilowatts out of this pack. And I tend to baby my packs, so I drive around town a lot. I want to make a 70-mile round trip tonight. I charge it to 60%, and I'll charge at the destination. Now, going really fast here. I'm going to hit the accelerator and take over. It probably would have plowed through this. You got a car coming from the right. Where's he going? Nowhere. I'm going to hit, just let the, I'm hitting the accelerator. The car's doing the steering, though, for the most part here. I could steer a little bit extra there. And let's go and hit the, we're still at 50. Let's hit the resume button. And go back up to 60. Okay, we're set again. So yeah, I'm going to a meeting tonight, an EV meet up. We got some destination chargers there, so I didn't charge up much at home. Figure I'll get some of that back. I like to do short cycles if possible. And our 2019 Model 3 has 36,000 miles on it, something like 40% supercharging. That's a road trip car. And I generally stay 30 to 70 on that car, even on road trips. So we're at 300 and anywhere from 299 to 306, depending on the PMS reading that day on that pack. And that's like, you know, I think the car new was 325 miles of rated range. So it's worked out really well. So, all right, coming in pretty hot here. So I'm going to tap the accelerator. I'm going to make a right turn up here, which of course the car doesn't know it's going to make a right turn. So I'm going to do this manually. Then we'll hit the set button again. All right. Still showing 63. Hit resume. And we're back. I'm going to go down a few miles here. Down to set. Go to 60 here. Back to 60 miles an hour. Reasonable speed for this road. looks like this was recently paved. This is a nice smooth road now. Got a sharp turn coming up here, so let's see if I want to take over or let this car handle this curve or not. Sometimes in really sharp curves, it likes to complain a little bit. This is a 45-mile-an-hour curve up here. Actually starting to slow down. Nice. Down to 56. Hand on the wheel just to guide it. Not doing anything. Down to 43. Handled it well. No cars behind me, so it's now starting to ramp back up. It's really well done, man. Another sharp curve up here. It's almost a 90-degree turn. Even on my Tesla at times, in earlier builds, it's gotten better, but sometimes it would take it really fast. Like this is slowing down. Nice. All right, a little bit over the lane. Got those rumble strips slowing down to 35. Nobody behind me. Now speeding back up. Didn't really have to take over. Just have my hand on the wheel just in case. Never touch the accelerator pedal. I feel like for $1,200, I think it's money well spent, man. This thing it's fantastic. It's like, so impressed what they've done. There's a really cool video, if you're getting into self-driving, called Children of the Magenta Line. Okay, this car is stopping up here. I might want to hit the accelerator or just take over just out of caution. It would have been fine there, I think, but I'm going to just be cautious. It's going to hit, get back to 60, hit zoom here. Children of the Magenta Line. It's a video airline pilot made back in like 1992. And it talks about how pilots have become over-dependent on flight automation and when to take over and fly the plane. And I found that video to be really appropriate and relatable to driving with full self-driving or things like common AI. So it's worth a look. It's easy to find. Children of the Magenta Line. Worth checking out. It's like a 45-minute video, but it's pretty interesting. Fortunately, I can't find a good place to mount my GoPro in this bolt. It's perfect in the Tesla on the glass roof, and don't know if I also screwed up a little bit mounting the comma. I feel like it blocks my vision a little more than I wanted to, but even if I put it lower, I might play with that later in the year, mount it lower, give myself some visibility, but that's my one little niggle about the comma is it just takes up a little bit of windshield space, but I'd like to be able to see. We're making a left turn up here. We're going to 45. So the car up here on the screen knows it's 45. So we're still at 60, but it's kind of slowing down. We're at 51 miles an hour. To me, it seems like people just don't understand the, the kind of the power of this full self-driving. I'm going to call this full self-driving. So I'm going to tap the brake to disengage here. Yeah, this little road here, this guy was really problematic for Tesla back in version 10. It was kind of a shit show at this little turn here. Let me make this one now. Car still thinks we're in 60, so we'll just go ahead and hit resume here. I'll go down to 50. Feels a little fast here. I know there's sometimes stadies on this road, so I'm not even quite sure if this is a 55 still. I didn't see any signs. So we'll just take it easy just in case. Oh, so I was talking about rambling on to keep you entertained as we watch this, for you 13 viewers out there. Just how powerful a driving system, even like this, is for staying refreshed. Like holding onto that steering wheel, even highway driving, is really tiring. And I have a friend that has he's leasing a, what is that? The Lyric. So he's got the Chevy, is it Blue Cruise? So I'm really curious to see. I've ridden in his car once, and that system, to my mind, it can't even hold a candle to what this Comma AI system is doing. So, yeah, I think when you jump up to something that has capabilities like this, it's a game changer for especially road trips. We've done, and I've driven 10, 12 hours a day in Tesla and come out of that experience as if I've been a passenger in the car, in terms of not feeling tired. It's really amazing. And I think there's a safety factor that, people are so freaked out, but you're responsible for what the car's doing. So, it's not level 5, it's not totally autonomous. I was engaged there. I was driving myself for a few minutes there. But if you take advantage of the technology, you're a lot safer. It gives you the ability to look around, to monitor the situation. So especially in the Tesla, I feel so much safer with the car driving than myself. Some more railroad tracks up here. We'll disengage, because even the Tesla is going to barrel over these railroad tracks. That's one of the things I wish, even on a Tesla, there was some kind of local rule I could say, hey, if these railroad tracks, I'm going to go over them at 8 miles an hour. That would be a awesome thing. Tesla Model S over there. Nice red S. So up here in just a little bit, we're going to get back on the highway for the last part of our journey to our destination. Hand's getting cramped holding this camera up. And we're to 45. Car knows we're to 45 zone. We're going 48 miles an hour. I've got 32 miles. I got about 5 miles to go. We're at 4.2 miles a kilowatt hour. We got the green light up here. I'm sure we're going to get it red in a second. The car should probably stop on its own. I've seen it try and run a red light. All right, let's see. It sees it or not. Yep, it's slowing down. I don't know. I'm going to take over. Yeah, I was going a little fast. I don't. It seemed like it wanted to slow down, so we'll take over and stop. Go ahead and hit resume. Turn the system back on, and we should proceed when the goes green on this. I'm going to bump up the speed to 55. The car's taking off on its own. Perfect. And move around a little bit of road here. That's what I like about that is I can torque the steering wheel, get around little potholes in the road, and not have to disengage. Going 50 miles an hour. I like too. It feels like it stays, really well centered in the lane. I don't feel like it's too far left, too far right. All right, when I enter the highway up here, I'll have to take over to merge and go right on the highway. It'll just barrel through this at 55 or 50. I'm going to hit the brake pedal. We'll start slowing down here. Put the turn signal on. Again, as I make the turn, I can feel the steering wheel taking over, and it's still, and the steering wheel goes back. I'm gonna up it up to, this is a 70 mile an hour road. I'm gonna go up to 60 here. Let's go to 65. It's set. Car is taking over again. All right, I got a semi back there, but I'm in front of him, so I don't have to worry about merging here. Turn signal on. Turn signal off. Should stay in this lane. Boom. Okay, we're set. Not doing anything, sitting here chilling out. Oh, I see a stadium up there across the road, or a sheriff crossing over the median. Let's compare this to if I had driven the Model 3. Model 3, of course, would have handled those turns, but how hard was it for me to make those turns myself? Not very, but in terms of stress level, lack of fatigue, I would call it pretty much equal to what the Tesla provides in terms of convenience and just relaxation. Like I said, this car for us is I would consider taking this car now on, I call these little regional trips. Like we go to Columbus fairly often. That's 120 miles. Even though the Bolt's a slow charging car, do a quick stop down in Ashland, charge up there. So, but just in terms of comfort, driving the highway, would be fantastic. I'm driving to Cleveland, which is 45 minutes away. This is another 45-minute drive. Can't argue with the capability of the system. So I will say that, Tesla is still on another level in terms of when you get to that lane changes here. I did that lane change manually. Tesla would handle it on its own. And I'm on 12.6.4. That's the new 2025 stack, and it's getting very impressive. I think we're getting to that March of 9 edge cases. So I'd be curious to see where Tesla goes in the next couple of years, how much improvement. I'm on a hardware 3 car, so I'm always going to lag behind. But the car is, I'm going to get over here, duck in here. My car is always going to lag the hardware 4 cars, but I was so tempted to buy a hardware 4 car when the upgrades transfer to full self-driving, but I'm kind of glad I didn't now, because the Tesla can deliver everything that I wanted to deliver in highway driving. I don't do a lot of city driving. Honestly, I test drove full self-driving just as a science experiment. But having really good highway driving is really all I really want out of the Tesla, and my hardware 3 is going to deliver that. And it's just gotten better. The highway stack now is so much better that it's on the neural nets. All right, so we're manually driving again. Let's go ahead. This car thinks we're at 64. I'm going to hit the set button. That takes it back to 30, which is my speed. It's a 35 zone. So the car's driving itself again. Around 4.4 miles per kilowatt hour at 39 miles. Pretty decent. Now we got warm weather back. We need to make a left up here. Oh, road. So I think I want to turn left here. So I'm going to get in this. It's going to stop on its own with a light. Nice. I have seen it stop here and then try and run a red light. So be careful and watch for that. Now, I'm putting my turn signal on. Now let's see what happens with this green. It will not want to go. I'm going to tap the accelerator and go. Manually turn now let go of the wheel. It's kind of jerky there. Okay. Now it's on its own. It'll come up and stop on its own. It's red light, I'm pretty sure. And our destination is just up ahead. Okay, it's stopping on its own for the red light. Oh, now see it's trying to run the red light. Oh, it just turned green. But it was going to try and run that red light. That's an example of you just got to watch what the car is trying to do. All right, so I'm going to take over. So I'm at my destination. I'm going to just end this video here. I just got to pull in the parking lot. So hopefully you enjoyed this little tour of Com AI on a 2018 Chevrolet Bolt.